The legendary town of Springfield is a mysterious place which seems to be trapped within a space-warping Tesseract. This allows it to be much bigger than the space it takes up. West Springfield is 3 times the size of Texas, as well as shift its location as needed. The town has been observed to shift its location to anywhere in the lower 48 states, seemingly at random. Sometimes it shifts several times in one day, other times it will remain in the same place for weeks before suddenly moving. It is also capable of being in more than one place at a time. This is how it was able to border Ohio, Nevada, Maine, and Kentucky. The town's internal geography is also in a constant state of flux, thus allowing for the church to be next to the bar one day and someplace else another day, or the Simpson house to be next to the power plant on one occasion and miles away from it on others. Some structures have spontaneously appeared for brief periods and then disappeared forever. These include, but are not limited to, the Springfield Buddhist Temple, a large house briefly occupied by former President Bush, a gigantic mountain known as the Murder Horn, a statue of a 2-headed goat who solved crimes, and a tall cliff with a face of Lisa Simpson carved into it. In all cases, no one seemed to notice that these objects had appeared or vanished. The city is also stuck in a time loop, with no one ever aging and children repeating the same grade forever despite having graduated multiple times. There have been chronal fluctuations, such as accused octuplets aging a year while no one else aged at all, but these are isolated incidents. However, not all things change, as death is still permanent, except on Halloween. The residents seem totally oblivious to all of these strange occurrences. It is possible that whatever phenomenon causes these anomalies also alters their memories. Whenever a Springfield resident leaves the town, he or she is always able to find it again, despite the town's constant travels throughout the continental U.S. It is unknown if the traveler is drawn to the town no matter where it is, or if the town returns to the location where it was when he or she left upon their return. It is unknown why the Springfield phenomenon occurs. It is possible that yearly visits by aliens from the planet Wriggle 7 hold some connection. The voice of God himself has been heard in Springfield occasionally. It is possible that he has cursed the town as punishment for local man Homer Simpson's claim that not even the Almighty could stop his plowing business. When Springfield was placed under a glass dome, it seems to have been unable to move away from the dome to escape it. It is possible that the dome was somehow able to arrest Springfield's ability to bend time and space, however this remains unproven. Perhaps even more curious is the fact that while time passes outside the town, its residents acknowledge this without noticing any anomaly. For example, when local resident Lisa Simpson visited Washington, she helped then-President George Bush I pass a law expelling a corrupt congressman. Yet Lisa, at the apparent age of 8, would now be too young to have been alive during Bush's administration. In another example, the Simpsons recently were seen in Italy, where they had a run-in with Sideshow Bob, who had become mayor of a small Italian town and started a family. Even though years had obviously passed for Bob, the Simpsons were the same age as when he had last seen them. Not only did the Simpsons not notice this, Bob did not either. It is also worth noting that Bob himself is from Springfield, which may account for his inability to notice these fluctuations. Further observation will be necessary to see if Bob will remain immortal while his family ages, or if leaving Springfield for an extended period of time undoes what physicists call the Springfield effect. In his groundbreaking paper, What the Flying Crap Is Up with Springfield, Holy Shit, Dr. Hubert Farnsworth theorized that the Springfield phenomenon will never be explained in our lifetimes. Perhaps my descendant will figure it out, but that will probably take 1,000 years, he wrote. In any case, I hope he has the same name as me. Sadly, half of Professor Farnsworth's paper has been lost due to his idiot cousin, missing persons case number 74861, accidentally spilling a half-gallon of honey mustard on it. Since the residents of Springfield never age, the question arises of how old they really are. Reports of Springfield first surfaced in 1987, with more concrete data beginning to arrive around Christmas 2 years later. However, stories told by locals and various shreds of historical evidence suggest that Springfield and its people may in fact be much older. Stories have surfaced of the Springfield residents of today existing as 19th century lumberjacks, 17th century pilgrims, even going back as far as ancient Greece. While some of these may be attributed to hearsay and rumors, the fact that the individuals in these stories perfectly mirror people in the modern Springfield is intriguing. Some have theorized that as time passes, Springfielders forget more and more of their own pasts and manufacture new false memories. Thus, it is possible that they existed hundreds of years ago but have no knowledge of that today. Marge and Homer Simpson have been observed remembering their own high school years taking place in the 70s, and then later remembering those same events occurring in the 80s. In a groundbreaking experiment, Professor John Frink, a Springfielder himself, attempted to determine the nature of Springfield by bombarding it with a special ray designed to undo the anomalies. This resulted in the town exploding. However, Springfield inexplicably rebuilt itself, to the point that the event seems to have never happened and no one ever mentioned it again. These events occur with frightening normality,